Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is my birthday and I am here joined with my beautiful mother, Nancy. So I wanted to bring my mom on my channel today to kind of celebrate my birthday with me and also reflect on the last 18 years of my life and kind of talk about it. And I just wanted to have like a casual chat. She has her coffee, I have my tea, we're just casually chatting. And I wanted to kind of do it on camera because I think it's like interesting, and also I want to remember this, you know? Okay.
So can I grab my coffee?
Grab your coffee. You guys can grab a snack. We're just gonna do casual chit chat. So Mom, how are you today?
I'm great.
Let me just say, this woman over here had me in this house completely natural, no nothing, just one midwife, my dad, and my siblings. That's it.
Right.
All organically.
Right. And it was important to us, we felt. It was such a joyous thing. We didn't really want strangers involved. We wanted to fully celebrate the birth.
Yeah.
And that meant just the people that were most important to us in an environment with wonderful flowers and music and our own comfort place.
Yeah.
Your father was just ecstatic that he was having his 6th child and that you had come along for us so much later, and because he always wanted 6. That was always a thing with him. And I was a little tired after 5. And so we weren't really sure that that should happen. But after a little rest up, I was ready for number 6 as well.
It's strange for me turning 18 because my brother turned 18 when I was born, you know? So I feel like I'm always literally a lifetime behind. And so my experiences growing up are so drastically different than my older brothers, like 2 different worlds.
My experience with parenting was you were always a very deep thinker, quite spiritual and a deep thinker.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, with all that you had to come to terms with in your childhood, I mean, you were born in 2000. Your father was diagnosed with cancer in 2004. In 2006, your grandfather passed away. In 2007, your father passed away. In 2008, so you were 8,
Yeah.
we moved your grandmother in with us, who was suffering dementia.
Yeah.
She lived with us until 2010, and then she passed away in 2012. And being that you were born in 2000, all of these things happened before your 12th birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in a way it was probably on purpose. I feel like there's so much I wouldn't be doing if it wasn't for all of those events. Like, I don't think I would be interested in making videos. I don't think I would be interested in filming things as much as I was, just because you know, Dad always filmed our childhoods, and that was like you know, those old VHS tapes were all I had. And so it was like such a personal, deep connection to film, and specifically like home videos and just things like this, just casual talking and interviewing, that I am still in love with.
I feel like we're saying a lot of things we never said before.
I feel that way too.
When is it about a camera? You would think you would be more reserved.
I know, I'm weirdly comfortable on camera, and I say this all the time in my videos because when I was in Italy, it was my only way to like actually talk through my thought process. So when I'm actually speaking, and to have a camera and you, it's like I'm really thinking through my thought process. And you do that too. Like her and I go on very long car rides and like things like that, and you open up my thought process a lot.
So what's exciting to you about turning 18?
Turning 18 is exciting because I'm an adult. I'm officially considered an adult.
It will be many years probably before you are financially an adult. Until that cell phone bill goes to you and the health insurance bill is covered by your job, you will be, let's say, privy to my wisdom.
You told me not to dye my hair, and it was
That would
the
be
worst
correct.
decision of my entire life because now I have blonde streaks.
Right.
Because I went for a midnight blue, but to get the blue in, they had to lighten some pieces, and then the blue faded, so I'm left with blonde streaks. And my mom told me from the very beginning, she said,
Do not do colors in your hair.
So-
it is never, ever, under any circumstances, a wise decision to make.
Well, I say do what you want, but yeah, I just look like a skunk now, so. Definitely, like, what I've learned in the last 18 years is to always listen to my mom. Not always, but most of the time, for things like hair.
No, always.
Younger people are so influenced by trends and
Right.
so guided by
Right.
trends, but this is like the most classically chic woman on the planet. Like, you are just classically chic. Like, even the stuff that you
That's so sweet.
yeah, because you always say, like, my fashion, like, because we look back at fashion, like, really cringy fashion of, like, the 80s, 70s, 90s, and you're like, I never had that stuff. I was just classic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't.
That's very sweet.
You always say that, right?
I like that. Yeah. Right. That is my goal.
Mm-hmm.
So can I just mention a trend that's going on right now that I think in a very short time is going to be very, very cringeworthy?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. The bare shoulder look.
Yeah.
Oh my. It is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. Short sleeves make sense. You want a little coverage, whatever. Long sleeves make sense. You want a little coverage and a little warmth. A long sleeve with a bare shoulder makes absolutely no sense. And when we look back on that trend, honestly, your children's children will laugh and say, what was going on there?
Do you think I'm a lot different now than I was as a kid? Or,
Yes.
like, really?
In some ways. As I said, you were always a very deep thinker and very spiritual, and I believe you still are. Those things have stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some more superficial differences, or maybe they manifest themselves differently.
Right.
When you were little, you did have some self-consciousness about yourself.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really insecurity. It was a real consciousness about what other people felt about you. And so now, I don't really feel that to be the case. That was a stage that you went through, and you outgrew it.
I think that was my, like, understanding of interactions with people. Thinking about it from their perspective instead of just my own perspective was something that came really early for me. But I think that's part of the reason why I'm really empathetic and why I can also see things from other people's perspectives really easily. Because I think, like, that just came on early for me, you know. You have to learn how you affect other people. And of course you're gonna be, you know, self-conscious or whatnot. I think we all are at times in our life, so. But I think that for me, I don't know how I outgrew that. I have no idea, but I just feel like it kind of became me really caring about other people and me really, like, feeling other people's pain very deeply. And just seeing things from their perspective, you know.
What a lot of growth for 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years. I still feel the same though. In kindergarten, they asked me what I wanted to do when I was older, and I said be an artist, and I still want to be an artist. So I just want to do film. But in a way, it's kind of always been the same. I think I was more shy as a kid though, for sure. My social skills have definitely gotten better each year that I've been alive. I don't think there was ever a time where I've gotten more shy. You know, I think I've
Right.
always gotten more and more outgoing. I get more confident every year, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think most people do.
I was with a group of friends the other day, and they were saying that every year of your life gets better.
For me, I feel like this is the first time in my life since graduating high school that I've felt myself dip almost. You know what I mean? Like I felt myself go down.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
And yet someone looking at your life from the outside would never say that.
No, never.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not really about that, you know, it's kind of like personally how you feel about yourself.
It's a little different from me because I had found the true love of my life and had a fabulous, wonderful marriage and partnership. And then he passed away in 2007, so now it's been almost 11 years without him. And so it's hard for me to say my life is better. I think I'm more mature every year and have a little more wisdom, so I'm better able to cope with life than I was. But he was only 55 and I was 50. That probably sounds old to you. But that was young for us. And because of that unique situation, I can't say that my life has gotten better and better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until then, absolutely. Until 2004, absolutely my life got better and better.
Yeah.
I was thinking about your father and the day you were born. I woke him up and said, I think this baby's gonna come. And he got so excited and he had to dash around and set things up and he was laughing and he was and we were happy and then he all of a sudden he said, oh, I don't understand this. I have to sit down. I just feel strange, and he had to sit down for a minute and kind of recoup, and then we went on. Since then, I've just thought about that and thought, I wonder if that wasn't the first signs of his disease before he was diagnosed.
Right.
He labeled it himself, and he called it a pall.
What's a pall?
A pall is like a veil of not feeling well.
Okay.
And so,
But it was his word.
right, and it was his word. It's not like a word that we used all the time.
Right.
We never used it. In fact, I don't know that we ever used it before or
Yeah.
since that episode. The manifestation of his disease already presenting there because
Yeah.
it seemed so out of character.
At my birth.
At your birth. It seemed out of character.
And that was, you think, the first signs of the cancer.
It may have been.
Yeah.
Because, your father was so healthy and larger than life in personality and also in his physique. He was tall and hardy and healthy. And so it really was a total surprise that this could have happened to him. When he turned 52, I told him that if I died, I totally trusted him to raise our children the way that I would want them raised.
Yeah.
Because we were such a good partnership, but it was also my way of telling him what a fabulous father he was.
Yeah.
It was more believable to me at that point that it would be me that something could happen to.
Yeah.
I never ever entered my mind that it was possible that something could happen to him because he had the persona of the least vulnerable person amongst us.
Yeah. You met Dad at 18.
That's true. That's true. We didn't get married for 6 years later. Really, 6 years later.
So how crazy though. I'm 18 and you met Dad at 18 and you're sitting here, you're 60 years old and you are sitting here with your 18-year-old daughter talking about the love of your life that you met at 18. I mean, that's crazy. Like, that's wild.
That is crazy.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
Because when you got married, you said two things. What was it?
I had two conditions. So one was I would never live here in this town. And the second condition was I will not have any children at all. And so your dad said, well, okay, we'll work through that. And here I am, here in this town, with 6 children. Well, I'm not with them anymore. They're off doing their lives, but I had 6 children. He said, sure, we'll make this work. And we did. He also conceded some points, I'm sure, along the way, but that's kind of what marriage is compromise. And once I had my first baby, I loved it. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
So once I had my first baby, I knew I wanted children, and probably more than 2 or 3.
I mean, do you think life is drastically different, not just without Dad, but just in general, like technology and the times? I mean, she was born in 1957, so you're a baby boomer. And
Absolutely.
Do you think that my 18th birthday is like so different than your 18th birthday?
Because I'm not of your generation, I'm not sure that I fully understand the extent of the influence of social media. We didn't have, obviously, even cell phones. So, you know, if you went to the mall with your friends, you didn't separate until you had a meeting place and a time.
Right.
And if someone got lost, they were out of luck. And the other thing about cell phones that really changed a dynamic, I feel, as a parent, is that kids used to have to talk to the parents of their friends occasionally, because they would call the home phone.
Right.
They wouldn't call their friend directly. And so there'd be all kinds of layers of communication where parents would get to know the friends better. You know, friends would have stronger opinions about the parents, and and safety issues were many times just nipped in the bud right away. Like, there were a lot of advantages to bringing in that communication, which is just totally gone now.
Right.
Parents talk to parents more too.
Right.
Oftentimes, you know, they would get on the phone then, the parents would get on the phone after the kids talked. All of that is lost with cell phones.
Do you remember your 18th birthday?
Right before I turned 18, they lowered the drinking age to 18. And then right when I turned 21, they raised it up to 21. So I was again the youngest in the club. And then the other nice thing was, you know, when you went to college at my age and the drinking age was 18, then there was no issue of underage drinking at college at all. Everybody was of age and everybody could drink, and there didn't have to be any law enforcement or any of those issues involved at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
I think that's all we had to say. Thank you guys for joining this chat. It was emotional, to say the least.
It was emotional.
I think. I didn't even anticipate for it to be this heartfelt, but I really...
Yeah, it was supposed to be a little birthday tribute, not
like a deep heart to heart. But yeah, I like just talking and seeing where it goes. Thank you guys for being a part of it, and I'll always have this conversation to look back on. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Mom, for being here. I love you, and yeah.
I love you, and happy birthday, dear.
Thank you. Bye, guys.